Right, there's over here. Be seated over here. So people in the back, do not be timid. Come sit over here.
Yes.
Only be seated by a chair where there's a card or cards. Only be seated by a chair where there's a card or cards. Pick up the cards, put in your lap. Do not be timid. You are deputy on the good estate of Virginia. Come, be seated, Virginia. Aye, goodly friend from Virginia, be seated. Goodly friends from Virginia, be seated as well. And goodly lady from, oh, no, only the gentlemen of the convention, pray, come here, sit here. Pick up the cards, put them in their lap. The goodly deputy from New York has arrived. Pick up another card here, sir. You'll have more to say. We need a deputy over here. You, sir, come you here. Give that card to this one here. Come you here. Give him encouragement. Be seated. Now, is there anyone without a card or card in hands? Is there anyone seated next to a chair where there's a card or card next to them? Very good. You'll have more to say. Very good. You pick up that card. Put them in your lap, too. Nay, you will be seated there. Do we have a late delegate coming?
Yes.
Are you responsible for him?
Yes.
We will watch you carefully. Now, there is much work to be done. Oh, I just love that part. I'd like to welcome you all to the Constitutional Convention. In the absence of Chairman George Washington, I, Benjamin Franklin, shall act as temporary chair. IGM. Oh, congratulations. Pray, do stop. Now, before we begin our discussion, I'd like to remind you that when we came here 4 months ago, you remember when we came here 4 months ago? Yes. When we came here 4 months ago, we all agreed that secrecy would be of the utmost importance. That is why all the window shutters have been nailed shut, and while all the sentries have been posted at the gates. We also agreed that there would be no discussion outside of these walls. Aye. And no notes are to be taken, and no letters are to be sent home. There was too much of that in the past. Well, you know who you are. You know who you are. Well, now, before we begin, it is my honor and great favor in my heart to introduce you to a great American, a fine patriot, and a marvelous politician, none other than our own James Madison. Madison has graciously consented to take notes of our meeting here. Very good, sir. Tardiness and idleness are tools of the devil, but pray be seated nonetheless. Very good. Mr. Madison has graciously consented to take notes of our meeting here. His notes will be the sole historic record of all that we say and do, and we are most obliged to him. Your servant, sir.
Your servant, sir.
Your servant, sir.
Your grace, sir.
Your grace, sir.
Your grace, sir.
Yep, never mind. Now, Mr. Madison, if you'd be so kind as to read out the roll.
Gladly, Dr. Franklin. Oyez, oyez, oyez. Let all within this assembly draw near and give heed. This meeting of the Continental Congress of the United States is now in session. Representatives of the states shall signify by standing and saying here as your state is called.
One would be sufficient from each state. Proceed.
Delaware.
Here.
New Hampshire.
Here.
Excuse me. Connecticut.
Here. Here.
A duo.
My word.
Perhaps we haven't divided or
Proceed.
disputed delegation. New York.
Here.
New Jersey.
Here.
Maryland.
Here.
Rhode Island. Rhode Island. Pennsylvania.
Here.
Massachusetts.
Here.
Virginia.
Here.
North Carolina.
Here.
South Carolina,
Here.
and Georgia.
Here.
Poor little Georgia. Mr. Madison,
Yes, Dr. Frank.
where is Rhode Island?
Well, sir, I believe if you were to walk about 1 mile down the road...
Oh, nay, don't be bad. Where is Rhode Island?
But they have not sent a delegation. They do not want to participate in our efforts to create a new national government. I'm afraid we're just going to have to do without Rhode Island.
Well, let them stew in their own juices. Well, there is much work to be done. Thank you, Mr. Madison, for calling up the roll. Well, I'd like to welcome each and every one of you personally to the Constitutional Convention. I'd like to remind you that you are representatives of your state and will be judged accordingly. You're not mere onlookers or bystanders, but participants, for we have been given a grave and most serious charge. We have been charged for rewriting the Articles of Confederation. As you remember, when we came here 4 months ago, you remember when we came here 4 months ago? You remember?
Yes, I do.
Very good. When we came here 4 months ago, we reviewed those Articles of Confederation, found them to be absolutely useless, and threw them away in the nearest dustbin. Right in the Constitution. Mark you this as well. It has been 11 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence. It has also been 4 years since the ending of the American Revolutionary War. My friends, we are like 13 heads without a body. This country is in a mess. Observe you this. The current state of states of things so far. Articles of Confederation are inefficient, as I mentioned. Congress has no power. We have no chief executive. The Treasury is bankrupt. Foreign trade has drained the economy. The people are in debt. And Americans are despised by foreigners. Yet, sound familiar?
Yes.
Sometimes I think we Americans are our own worst enemies.
And yet, here is the state of the states. Pennsylvania. Where are you? Oh, there you are. You fired on Connecticut settlers again.
You deserved it.
Oh, my word, none of that. More division among the ranks. Virginia, where are you? Huh? Ah, quarreling with Maryland again? Picket. Over fishing rights. How, pray, can you possibly put a border across the water? It would float away.
And Maryland. You are certainly no better.
No price package there, I agree.
Yes, you have set up custom guards at your borders as if you were your own independent state. Are we not one United
I
States?
thought this was supposed to be a
Yes.
free United States. Free that you go to and fro within and out of your state. A free United States. Free from travel restrictions. Of course, we know about Rhode Island, that rebel state. I now wish to only refer to it as, Mr. Madison, Rogue Island.
And Georgia, one small state with one vote.
Poor little Georgia.
Yes, yes, with only one vote.
Compared to that colossus, Virginia, that has 16 votes in their back pocket. 16 votes. Well, I know it's your own state, Mr. Madison, but pray, I mean, really, aren't they greedy gossips, would you say? Oh, well, nonetheless. Oh, of course, we come to New York.
Yes, New York. Yes, they hate the people of Connecticut. The city has burnt down and is still in ruins.
Aye, and North Carolina, I hear tell they are very proud and appreciate their so-called tradition of slavery, eh? They can't even control their own borders. But as we speak, a new territory is opening up,